Hello, everyone. This is Liz from Knowledge Return. This is a space where we talk about energy and spirituality as a part of our normal everyday experience. This is also a place where sometimes I share commentary about my own spiritual journey and discussions with others as they go through theirs, with the hope that it may help you on your journey. Today I want to talk about reclaiming a word that people use so often to mean to give up something in a way that it's negative, to struggle and to suffer. And that word is sacrifice. So often I hear people say, I sacrifice in the marriage. I sacrifice in my relationship. I sacrifice in my job. And when you think of that word, the first thing that might come to mind is you've given up something that made you become less than. You gave up something to become less than. So it almost has a negative connotation, the word sacrifice. So what I want to do is take back and really peel back the layers of what that word actually means. And hopefully have us redefined and relook at how we use that word. So the origin of the word sacrifice means to make sacred. So to sacrifice is to make sacred. What does sacred mean? To make holy. Holy, holy. What does holy mean? To make whole. WHOLE. So if we take all of those definitions and origins of words and put them together, sacrifice is to make whole. So if sacrifice means to make whole, it doesn't mean that we're making ourselves less than, that we're fracturing ourselves, we're suffering, we're going lower. It means that we're coming together, we're bringing pieces of ourselves together in a way by stripping layers that lower ourselves, that fracture us. So the way we use it today, when we say we sacrifice, we're using it in a way that fractures us more, that breaks us down, that belittles us, that makes us feel less than. And so what we have to do is really know what this word means. A lot of words in our language, especially the English language, has been distorted of its true meaning. And I feel that sacrifice is another one of those words. Because when we think of the word and the way we use it, we feel like it's a lose-lose situation. We feel like we've given up something that makes us lower, that we gain nothing in return. But if the real meaning of the word is to make whole, how do you give something to make whole? How do you give and let go of something to make whole? But one thing we have to remember, the real question is, when we use that word, Who are we sacrificing? Who or what are we sacrificing? We're trying to make us, each individual, each one of us, whole. Now, how do you make yourself whole? By giving up something. How do you reclaim who you are, who you truly are, by giving up something? What you're giving up, what you're sacrificing, is the older versions of yourself that no longer serve you. Older versions of yourself that keep you small, that keep you low, that keep you under, that fracture you, that break you apart. You let go of those versions that are breaking you apart. You let go of those situations that are breaking you apart. You let go of those beliefs, those programs, those systems that are breaking you apart. So you want to do the things that make you whole. You want to give up the things in order to make you whole. So a lot of what we are doing when we are healing, for example, when we're going on a healing journey or a spiritual journey, is learning and almost reprogramming ourselves to see what and who is fracturing us, is keeping us so small. In a lot of our relationships, that is what we're learning. We're so fractured that everyone you're interacting with is also fractured. And so everybody's reflecting their fractured versions of themselves onto you, and you onto them. That's the cycle that most of us are in. We're just reflecting broken pieces of who we are. We're reflecting lower versions that don't help us to be more joyful, more creative, more empowered. We're reflecting fear. When we're broken and when we're low, we're reflecting fear, anger, obsessions, greed. We're holding on to broken pieces of ourselves. And so the sacrifice is to begin to shed those pieces. Shed them. In order to it's almost like an onion, peeling back all of those layers to realize the gem inside. So the gem is always, you as the gem have always been there. But society, what you've been taught, your experiences have fractured you. What you're believed, what you've been indoctrinated with has fractured you. Has said that you need things outside of yourself in order to even exist. Not realizing you are always whole, but all of these layers are all over you. And in order to remove them, to find the gem inside that is truly you, you got to sacrifice those layers. You got to give them up. You got to give all of those older versions of yourself that do not serve your higher calling, your higher being, your higher self, your higher path. A better version. But you got to sacrifice all those old, fractured versions of yourself. And how do you again know that they're your fractured versions? When you're still existing in a version that says you are not good enough. Existing in a version that's surrounded in guilt and shame. Existing in a version that says you do not have enough. Existing in a version that no one loves you. That you're powerless. That you're all alone. So if you're existing in that version, know that it is a fractured version of yourself. Because what you will come to know and learn as you experience in this world in a way that you truly want to be a better version of yourself, if you truly want to be a better version of yourself and you intentionally think, feel, and act that way, you'll know, you'll experience that you are not alone. You'll know and experience that you have more within yourself: creativity, power, energy, peace, calm, compassion. You realize you have more within yourself than you thought you did, including strength and courage. You realize that you have it already within yourself. But you have to peel back those layers to find it sometimes. You gotta peel back the layers. Because right now, we were born thinking that we were separated from each other. We thought we were born thinking that we were separated from our spiritual self. We were born thinking that we were alone in this world. And I will continue to say this over and over again, and that is, the old story of separation is what most of us are living through. And I will continue to say it's the old story, because that old story, that cycle is ending. We're in the end of the cycle of separation, believing that we are alone, believing that all we are is this human being, believing that we are separate from God, source, universe, believing that. But that's not our truth. So we're playing out an old story that we're all alone. And we have to look at outside sources to save us, because we're all alone. Knowing that you already are whole, and you're not alone. You are an energetic spiritual being having a human experience. But you're gonna have to peel back your layers in order to remember that and truly experience it. And you'll know that, number one, as you sacrifice those old versions that no longer serve you, that keep you low, that keep you in a humiliated state of being, fearful, scared, all of those things that keep you thinking that you're by yourself and isolated. realizing that as you intentionally shed those layers, you are all that you need. You are the love you need. You are the strength you need. You are the courage you need. You are the peace you need. You are the abundance you need. But you got to sacrifice those old layers of yourselves, those old beliefs, those systems, those thoughts, those old emotions, those old behaviors. You have to sacrifice those in order to find the wholeness that is you.